with the utility onto two individuals. James is very patient. We got ourselves Snacks and Co. probably getting in a little bit of a tricky situation. Here comes the first. The shots don't result in any frag yet. Jamie has found himself Neo. There comes the first. Buster there with 1-1-2, but doesn't find himself any more than that. Pasha can take over that short control. Krisen has not been spotted yet. Rips off the head of Neo. And Kicker reacts around to Pasha in time, bringing it only down to the player without armor, which means Snacks with 27 HP. There's a hard riddle to solve. Krisen's not even into it. Delivers us that bit of control. Caster X-ray control. Thank you very much. That's for you. You can do it now. Up. I can't roll the R, unfortunately, so with that being said, don't expect me to say Ruhop properly from time to time. Either way, Virtus.pro having a chill time back in spawn. Discussing, okay guys, what are we going to do? How are we going to chill throughout the day? At that point in time, seems like the kind of ground Jamie has gotten himself logically opens up opportunities for AVANGAR to just weigh up the options and go towards one side. As we see right now, the rotation coming in fairly fast. Snacks wants to come through. The nade heats up. Krisen finds himself a double with that M4, and suddenly it's all falling down. Pasha finding himself one. That should be too hard right now to maintain control. Two actually taken out, but not a third to come. It's going to be AVANGAR with that 2-0 lead, showing us what they are made of in the first few rounds. As like mentioned, this team is so goddamn good when it comes down to this map. There's no other way to say it. There's no other way to put it. AVANGAR and Virtus.pro, they're pretty much best friends. You know, they're an iconic duo. It's like the Jenner family. No, it's probably not the best example when it comes down to esports. It's like ZZ and EcoRounds, or more likely force rounds. AVANGAR are as good friends as that, or more likely force round wins. Either way, down to only our Glocks. Ouch. That hurt. 50 HP less there onto Jamie, as there's a random deagle hit, doing his job partially. Kicker going here for the jump spots. He's not going to find himself a thing here in the moment. Whilst that is the case, Snacks, who already dealt damage, comes back to the group. So with 60 seconds left, this could be the kind of moment to all together aggress towards any of the sites. We still have opportunities to rotate over to A, and as we see two players going there towards middle, they might consider to do so. No utility, no option to make a quick one over short without being taken from connector. They're really doing a delay. Virtus.pro taking their time in such an eager round. Snacks has now been spotted out. Kicker keeps his patience up. Sneaky Neo. He comes around. There's a Kicker finding himself free. Not too much of a problem. Gets found though by the Glock. But in the end, that shouldn't be too hard. Snacks does the jump. Mid-air, not being caught out. Played a little bit of Assassin's Creed here. He should be found in a second. Isn't he? Snacks, do you find yourself another frag? Unfortunately not. Would have been too beautiful to see. There we got ourselves a little tech pause on to Kicker and Co. So far, so good. Basically that, what the statistics are giving us, has happened at that point. Now it comes down to Virtus.pro to stop the momentum AVANGAR is about to gain as control on the CT side. Kazakhstan Russian team, who recently, by the way, switched back from the stand-in, or not even a stand-in. There was a trial on Ramzik, who used to play at Tengri, but Ramzik couldn't really convince the other players that he's good enough to stay in the team during his trial time, so they got themselves Jamie back. As Jamie is now on the AWP, to show us what he can do with that $4,750 rifle to bring us a control onto AVANGAR. First of all, nothing to be seen. No damage to be dealt, and mid-control being partially maintained and taken by Michu and Cole. Whilst there's a grenade going deep onto Bialy. Virtus Pro not showing too much presence towards any of the sites yet, as they seem to be fairly interested in middle. Coming down to Buster as well as Krisen, holding that control. And as there are right now 4 players there towards the middle, it's going to be a little bit problematic here for the side of AVANGAR to take and keep that control. Neo finds himself kickered, but there's Buster to react with only 19 HP left, though, in a problematic situation where Michu comes through and burns down just a little. 36 HP left onto him. Krisen has to check multiple angles. Michu is there to take him down, though. Demusik with the FAMAS successful 1-1, but not on many more. And so it's Virtus Pro with the first. It took its time. But after the first 3 rounds, the usual ones, it's a Polish site gaining control, especially gained that 1 round. Hurting the CT economy a bit, because after that one, it will be problematic for AVANGAR to get anything decent in their hands. As goes Krisen there. Oh, what a double there onto Michi, and Pasha finding himself 2 crucial frags. As that shouldn't have happened either way. It's gonna be kickered. He's right now still trying to gain information only with his CZ. As the 2 players are down for Virtus Pro. Obviously, the entire situation, the initial situation here of this round number 5 is a little bit more complicated. $60 are left on the clock. As Krisen has done his job fairly well towards the middle, there's going to be the short control trying to be taken again. We hear Bialy there coming through. Krisen is realizing what's the case. James does it on his own. That means Snacks and Neo somehow needs to clear out that situation. Doesn't seem to be the case. The bump is going in favor of AVANGAR. And Kicker. There's no one jumped around. They just got themselves baited in that situation. Buster, as well as Kicker, are falling to the shots of Snacks from behind, though, where James stands. There's not too much movement freedom Snacks has. And Krisen finds him in the end. 4-1 it is. AVANGAR maintain and regain control after 1 lost round. And as we see, the wallets of Virtus Pro fairly slim, most of them are. As Neo is 1.5, Michu on 1.9. I'd rather go for that eco in that situation and give AVANGAR not the possibility to economically ruin them too early in this game. As it usually is the other way around. Usually we see the ZTs falling fairly early. It comes down to the bank accounts. In that situation, nothing to lose for Virtus Pro. That would be a good event for the Polish team to prove that they're not just any Polish team anymore. That Ego is not going to be the #1 this year. That's something Virtus Pro has to prove us. As recently, results have not been so great by the team. Buster finding himself the first on his Snacks. And so as Neo falls as well, it shouldn't be too hard to get the other free as well. Micho, there though with a double. And as Mihu against Krisen and James gets a little bit problematic as the guns have been dropped. And Bialy, as well as Mihu, killer of 2, and themselves with tools to kill the rest of AVANGAR. Patience is relevant right now on both of the sides, as you don't want to fall into any trap of Virtus Pro, but also the other way around. You don't want to get yourself off guard too early. Mihu falls, Pasha does the same, and Buster is already on a quad. Taking out 4 players in that round number 6. As that control had to be regained at the end of the Dane. And as it is that 5-1, looks like AVANGAR have a good possibility to run away with this entirely. I mean, the half right now is looking fairly brilliant for them. Me, though, with a good bunch of aggression there. Crizin finds himself the first. Pasha back on top. He's aggressive enough to find that offer. That's well done. But Crizin as well as Demonstick react in time. Bialy and Snax seem to be kind of lost in the situation. Only Bialy alive. And that was the buy round here, the number 7. That was extremely relevant for them to get, but their economy is fairly weak. And Crizin finished off the last. 3 survivors of AVANGAR. That's keeping up the economic state of the CT side, whilst we're seeing Virtus.pro. Well, they can't really afford that buy here. And there we got ourselves the pause. That seems to be the right thing to do. Just entirely going for the unpause here. Not interested in any more talking. And as we see, something's not working out so far. We see that it seems like the coordination of the entire team of Virtus.pro is not 100% there, whilst just fragging is working perfectly for Crizin as well as Buster. Bialy on 1-7. The Polish sites not very frag strong. No individual that is just full on the gas. As we have the unpause being called, that's 6-1. AVANGAR is just 2 rounds away of already having that first half secured. And as Virtus.pro is right now going for that buy of just, well, a few essentials here. Deagle twice, P to 50 3 times. A bit of utility on Neo as well as on Bialy. That just seems to be the right kind of idiot to find any late goal. And as we see Neo down to 24, as he already ate up that grenade, it's not the most comfortable position to be in after 25 seconds. As we see it from Virtus.pro, they are somehow not giving us that kind of performance we used to see from them. I mean, recent months have not been the greatest for the Polish side in total. But as mentioned, this tournament, that would be the one to show the world that they're still alive. That would be the kind of tournament to make us all wonder how good can Virtus.pro actually be. But so far, it's not looking brilliant. We're just in map number 1. This is the first best of 3 of them. The only best of 3 besides that. There, Crizin comes with 1. Mihu is fast enough to react and find himself the refrac onto Crizin. But not too much should happen in such a round. James just 1 body shot away from taking down Snax. That should be easy for him. But the Deagle, he could just one-shot you away. And that close range, the body shot could do it. Pasha is down to that M4. But Buster in short. He busts Pasha rotating around, and so that 7-1 is secured. The guns are now onto Virtus.pro. The AWP and the AKs, as well as all the utility you want to have. Now that's a little bit of a tough pill to swallow at that point in time for Virtus.pro. As just they've gained that 1 round at number 4, could have been the opportunity to get the tie secured or even a stronger and better lead against AVANGAR. But the Kazakhstan team, well, they say themselves, they joke around themselves that they're only onliners, and that is also the tournament where they can prove everyone around the world that they can beat teams like Virtus.pro and possibly Gambit or SK. We're seeing that later today with our other best of 3. But first of all, it's down to Snax and Co. to kick out AVANGAR of this tournament to stay alive, as tomorrow the best of 5 will occur, and we're going to see who will be the champion of the Adrenaline Cyber League. But first of all, that's going to be the mid-take. They're trying to approach any of the sites with that Molotov going deep into the connector. Trying to clear out position. Snax is not going to find himself anything with that kind of pre-fire. Christian is rather deep into it. There's one coming, and Buster does that perfectly timed. And that is perfect coordination. One coming through the window, one coming there through short. And Christian doesn't even need to do a thing anymore as they build some kind of deadly triangle out of Kazakhstan players to find every Polish player who's interested in going towards the B site. Trespassing not allowed. But Bialy, at least he gets himself Demasik. Back in connector. There's a Christian standing 15 more seconds to retrieve that bomb, and I hardly can imagine that Virtus.pro even dares to do so. As neither Bialy nor Neo are interested in that kind of danger, and so it's going to be that 8-1. AVANGAR secured themselves that half already, and are going on the right track to make it all possible. And I mean, if you kind of underestimate AVANGAR and you never heard of them because you're mainly just in that tier 1 scene, the guys have been at the major back at the beginning of the year. Didn't bring us too much of a great result, but I mean, throughout the entire qualifier, for example, they had beaten teams like Kinglin, like QBF, like LDLC. It's not like they're just some no-namers. They're actually the team to look out for in the future. It's extremely the opposite we're having here age-wise, by the way. As if I'm not totally wrong, the oldest player in AVANGAR is 21, and that is Demasik, if I'm not totally wrong. My memory's never lying to me. Sometimes, maybe. And Demasik with 21 years old. I mean, the others are 18 to 19. So the young guns, usually the ones who have that kind of momentum and kind of speed, do it all right. That being said, that 3 versus 3, only a bit more time left. 21 Virtus.pro could possibly win. James finds himself the first into Snax. He's kind of cautious that there's no one rotating around and flanking him, but at that point in time, the brute force on the site through the apartments. It has worked out partially for Virtus.pro. Now it's down to just hold that site as good as they can. James interested in going there over short, has to do the right jump though, and Demasik on his own has 2 players fairly close to each other. He can't do the job though. Now James finds himself the first, can switch over to the M4 if he would like to, and does so. Has spotted Neo, and that Molotov is perfectly done. He has to rotate around any of the sites. No, it doesn't go deep enough. And James on the right side, he has to be found. Just needs to be the defuse. It still doesn't happen. When the time is ticking away, James comes in and he finds it. Does he have enough time to defuse though? That could become hella tight, but it could be AVANGAR picking up the number 9. And they do. What a round it is. The 2 versus 2 turning in 2 versus 1 with 2 players staying towards truck. But James, who's usually not even used to playing rifles, does bring it down to the 9-1 scoreline. Virtus.pro falling short once more. And just around the way AVANGAR is from those double digits. And that's just insane. And I expected AVANGAR actually to have such a lead, to be very fair, but not this kind of lead. That's just insane. 9-1, Virtus.pro regarding this map. Mirage are actually a little bit better on the CT side, so you can give them that, but funny-wise, and that's a legitimate point, AVANGAR have played this map 37 times, and throughout those 37 matches and maps, they have established an exact 50-50 win distribution on T and CT sides. There's not even a 0.000.1 difference. It's exactly 50-50. Virtus probably don't really have the time and don't really have that mentality to squat in the corner and be scared about what AVANGAR about to do. As we see continuously, and not bringing us what they actually want to. Kicker finds himself a jumping pass at biceps, as he wants to come down but is not successful enough. But now man advantage possibility to take the round number 2. Neo, Michu, and Bialy are looking good HP-wise. There's no reason to be scared or no reason to be worried, as we're seeing it. AVANGAR have to think twice if they're really taking this aggression. Neo is nearly burning away, and there he gets the wallbang by Buster. That retake has to work, but there's no smoke on either of the AVANGAR players, which means that Buster has to need some big balls to make it possible. Jame onto one, and there's a second one to come, possibly. Does he get himself Michu? The defuse doesn't work. Buster, you have to do it. You have to pull through. Does he have time this time? Nope. It could have worked out if I'm not totally wrong. The defuse could have been the one of Buster, but Virtus.pro, they build enough pressure onto AVANGAR to give themselves the second. The buy is far away from good, though. Lost every single individual. Now I have to rebuy with, well, full armor as well as AK is the maximum for a few players. As that pause has been called. Second round for Virtus.pro. Could get them a few more. Technically speaking, Virtus.pro is still able to deny the double digits onto AVANGAR. The question is, how possible is that? As we've seen what kind of defensive dominance the Kazakhstan-Russian team can build up. And I think it's fairly debatable. Virtus.pro are going to get the rest of this rounds of the first half. It will be a difficult task. I think we can all agree on that. And with that being said, it's down to Snacks & Co. to show us that they're made for that kind of task. Very, very fast approach. Jame hitting the first one onto Snacks in just 15 players. Virtus.pro losing their first. Prison having no problem connecting to Pasha. Nope, not being the case. 2 players already down after 25 seconds. The Polish men laying in the coffin. Whilst AVANGAR still have all 5 available. Going back to it, Me, who gets also taken down by Buster in the end. Whilst Neo sneaks onto the side of A. Where Jame just casually takes him out. This could be a flawless round for AVANGAR. After Virtus.pro used all the dollar bills they have back in their wallets to get all the guns from the black market. It's going to be only Bialy left to fight 5. And that would be an insane ace. I would love to see it. Put some drum and bass on it and suddenly you have a frag movie. But it's hard to imagine that Bialy gets all 5 of them. There he has already been spotted. And AVANGAR, without losing a single individual, secure themselves the double digits and bring Virtus.pro down to just those 1.5k investments. ZZ and armor is basically what we're seeing. Actually, free P250 says probably the money hasn't been in there for all of them. Going for that major utility buy, though. A good bunch of smokes we used to have. So the mid-take. Something Virtus.pro looking for, while Snacks goes full Usain Bolt there on underpass. Possibly get a fair and fast entry there. Through connected. There's still Prison, finding himself too, not having too much of a problem. With nearly tapping Pasha away, but as he got so much damage from all his teammates, it's at least Pasha finding himself the frag as well as a free AK with only 2 bullets left in the Mac. Bialy makes some kind of noise. Pasha finds himself one. That could be working out, but Bialy didn't have the opportunity there in the end to find Demasik. Kicker getting Pasha as well. And at that point in time, my god, it's just looking too good. It's just looking too goddamn good right now for the side of AVANGAR. It's insane what we are seeing as they send Virtus.pro not only to a spiral of economic drought, they're sending them also to a spiral of losing rounds continuously, one after another. We're at 11-2. We possibly will have a 13-2 scoreline very, very soon, with Prison being on fire this game right now. Sure, those were a few eco frags. You can't really say he has done the best job with that, but still, statistically speaking, he's right now so much on top, finding himself 4 frags. What is going on with Prison? 23-7 in half number 1. And it seems like this man has to be stopped sooner or later. surely we could start up an entire debate. How much Virtus Pro, with the lineup, with the core lineup of 4, is still working. If they're still the team they used to be, but either way, that's not what we're about right now. First of all, we need to see Buster not finding himself the shots he was looking for. Neo gets himself that one. Kicker. Back in apartments. Doesn't look as sharp as he used to be. There's the one frag of the Pasha. Demasik taken out by Mihu in the end. And Krizen is still alive. So you gotta be cautious. As James, though, can't jump around the entire section of the B site to find himself a pillar to hide behind. Krizen on his own, as he needs to find free. And at that point in time, there should be no way in this world that Krizen wins that, and that isn't the case. 12-3 it is. And Virtus Pro, with 3 rounds, they go now on the CT site. Statistically speaking, they're a little bit of more favorable site. If they'll make it work there, though, that's a different kind of question. 23-8. On the top of the scoreboard, Krizen just dominates. And while we have Yali there with 3-13, no one really out-fragging. No one really just there carrying the team of Virtus Pro. As Mihu, though, is on the top with 10-13. Doesn't seem to be the case that right now we're seeing any those outstanding performances there from Virtus Pro. Possibly this could change right now. We're on half number 2, and we're about to start in 10 seconds, as the lovely eBots tells us, with AVANGAR showing us what they can do as the aggressors. Snacks and Co will be able to just deny what's the case here. Can they shut down AVANGAR momentum? Are they possible to take down that flat 6 roaring so loud? Or will it be just massacre? AVANGAR will now start there on the A side. Mid control, Virtus Pro wants to take, which means that the majority of the players are right now leaning towards the side of A. Yali is forced to move back, and so that bomb could go down fairly fast and easy. As we see it, though, Snacks falling down. Yali tries his best to hit any shots on any players, and as 2 are coming from behind, I'm fairly convinced that AVANGAR have that kind of awareness that players might be flanking very soon. One staying back unconnected, that is Bialy, who's just waiting for the right call from his teammates. As Demasik is jiggle peeking a little bit there, and I'm not quite sure if anyone saw each other yet. No shoulders being spotted yet. Neo is back on the side. Bialy doesn't hit the right timing there, as a distraction of Pasha and Co didn't work out. Buster back with the height advantage into Palace. And at 13-3, that was the A site taken fairly easy with the right kind of smoke setup. Virtus Pro having no chance to retake this, as the players were not on the site, didn't use it right. And on the other hand, AVANGAR is just too much on fire right now here in Moscow. It feels like they converge, like Transformers. They converge into one big unit of 4 Kazakhstan and 1 Russian. And once they're at you, you can barely escape. With that being said, that could have been Snacks finding himself a fairly easy frag there. Whilst he only deals 1 shot onto Kicker, that's not really the best circumstance. Mihu can't find himself more than just a few shots. That bomb is at least down. Pasha could try to use it as good as he can with that nades. Doing his job, but getting dinged at the same time. He finds Krizen. Buster takes him down in the end. AVANGAR is now on the maximum at the ref limiter, as they're only 2 rounds away from finding that success. And Virtus Pro, they get themselves a Zeus. I mean, they get themselves a Zeus, at least. That's a legit point, and we see Snacks is definitely down to find himself a Zeus kill. Did that work? No, you don't do this. Hey, flashbang. No. Where's that Zeus? Snacks. Thank you! Thank you very much for that. At least 1 frag movie-wise frag here from Snacks with that Zeus kill after they both flashed themselves, basically. Not much more to come, probably. Down to 9 HP he is. At least a Zeus. You know, that is satisfying. Partially, at least. With that being said, only Neo alive. 15-3 secured, and that's just insane. That is just AVANGAR having the steering wheel in their hands. No oversteer, no understeer. Perfect apex they're hitting. With that being said, there is the buy coming in. The rifles are there for Virtus Pro, and that's the point in time where you need to use those rifles as good as you can. Otherwise, you might fall short before you even expect it. James hitting snacks. With that being the case, it doesn't even stop there. With Pasha down to 17. It's just astonishing what kind of damage those players can deal right now. AVANGAR are insane. AVANGAR are just on the right track. And I'm not quite sure what we shall expect from our second map coming up soon. If Virtus Pro are even able to hold them up at that kind of time, where the aggression is leaning towards the A sites, it's hard to imagine. As the rain of smokes now starts up. Holding that site will just more and more difficult. Teamstick down to 18 HP as he suddenly has a bit of a problem with the Molotov coming towards him. Pasha now needs to rotate over. Mihu is the only individual. As he's taken out, only Papa himself. No chance. The P250 closes the case. And 16-3 it is. That's going